Welcome back, Saint Stuff fans. I'm your host, Wes Brown. I want to thank everybody for the follows and likes and subscribers that I've gotten so far. So a special shout out to all of you guys. I really appreciate it. And keep it coming if you can. If you like what you're hearing, if you learned something throughout these videos, drop a like, drop a subscribe. That'd be great. I think the buttons are down below. Y'all know how to do that. So today I want to talk about more NFL draft personnel. I want to talk about the NFC South as a whole, how the division affects New Orleans going forward. This is a division, the NFC South, that has been kind of a toss-up for several years. This is considered to be one of the toughest divisions in all of the NFL. New Orleans Saints has won the last 4 division titles, so that is definitely something that is a positive moving forward. Tampa Bay specifically has not won the division since 2007. So it's been a while since Tampa Bay has won the division. However, they're coming off a Super Bowl run with Tom Brady. They have all their starters coming back. You would like to think that they have the best odds to win the NFC South next season. So, that is there for them to take. It would take New Orleans, Atlanta, or Carolina to take that away from Tampa Bay, like New Orleans did last season. So, but this is going to be a new season, no Drew Brees, so I would think Tampa Bay would win the division. However, there's always a number 2 option that always makes the playoffs from the NFC South, it seems like, specifically. So I want to talk today about the draft battles, almost, if you will. Fictitious one-on-one battles that Tampa Bay, Atlanta, or Carolina drafted, and what we drafted to go against those battles. So let's talk about the first couple drafts. I think I want to start there because I feel like they are like the lowest moving forward. So Tampa Bay, they drafted Joe Tryon, linebacker, right from their first pick. I think he's a great linebacker. He's very good in coverage. He's very good in space. He goes up against, they're filling a need at linebacker. He's going up against Alvin Kamara twice a year. He's going up against Christian McCaffrey twice a year and Todd Gurley twice a year. They obviously have to have a good linebacker to cover all those guys. You're talking about probably all 3 of them future NFL Hall of Famers. So absolutely that's something that they need as a position of need. And you're also talking about Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey being probably 2 of the top 3 running backs in the entire NFL outside of maybe Saquon Barkley. So absolutely, linebacker was a position of need. I don't think Joe Tryon is ready. I think he's going to need a lot of experience before he's ready to consistently win one-on-one battles against Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, and even Todd Gurley, who absolutely still can run you over. So let's move on. I think Tampa Bay wins that matchup for sure. New Orleans wins that matchup. Tampa Bay also drafted Kyle Trask, quarterback from Florida, in the 2nd round. I think Kyle Trask is a phenomenal player. That goes up against maybe our defensive end, Peyton Turner, who we drafted in round 1. Is that somebody who would win that battle in a fictitious one-on-one? Kyle Trask, the quarterback, is he mobile enough to get outside the pocket, run away from Peyton Turner, who probably is moving from defensive end to defensive tackle? So it's kind of a wash. It's hard to make that battle, guaranteed there. Outside of Aaron Donald, most of the times defensive tackles don't create pressure on the quarterbacks. They're there more for run stopping. I think there's a lot of upside to Peyton Turner. I think Kyle Trask has a lot of room to grow as well into the quarterback position. I don't know. I'm going to give that one to Peyton Turner, though. I just think he's probably a better defensive end than Kyle Trask is a better quarterback at the NFL level. So, that's kind of a wash. It's kind of a close battle, but I'm going to give it to Peyton Turner. So you have Kamara winning round 1, Peyton Turner winning round 2, and then lastly, Robert Haney, guard from Notre Dame, is who they drafted in round 3. And we have, again, Peyton Turner going against him. I think that's pretty close battle, a guard versus a defensive tackle or defensive end, either way how we play with Peyton Turner. I don't know. It's going to be a close one, even if I'm going to call that just a wash in general, because I do think Robert Haney was very good for Notre Dame. So, just kind of, it'll just be a wash. So let's just give 1.5 points to New Orleans beating Tampa Bay. So in terms of the draft battle matchups that we have today. So I think New Orleans wins that against Tampa Bay, but let's move on to Atlanta. They had 2 draft picks that I think, or 2 interesting picks that would be crucial moving forward into the NFC South. So first off, they drafted the highly touted tight end, the highest drafted tight end ever, Kyle Pitts from Florida. That goes against almost immediately against Pete Warner, the linebacker that we drafted from Ohio State. I think Kyle Kyle Pitts is a fantastic tight end. He's basically a wide receiver playing at the tight end position. He's got the hands, he's got the speed, he's got the ability to find open space. He's smart enough to know where he needs to be open for his quarterback. He's got an incredible reach and length. That's a tall task for Pete Werner to have to consistently go against one of the top tight ends of this draft class for sure. So I give that matchup to Kyle Pitts. So it would be a close one. I think Pete Werner is probably more of a run-stopping linebacker than Kyle Pitts is a wide receiver type of player. So I give that one to Kyle Pitts for sure to win. However, it would be interesting to see if going against Demario Davis or one of our safeties like Malcolm Jenkins, who often covers tight ends, who would win that battle then, with years of experience behind their belt. And I think Kyle Pitts even probably needs to put a little bit more stature to his frame. So I hope you all are enjoying these fictitious one-on-one battles, but let's keep on going. We drafted Paulson Adebo, corner. He was in the second round. That would go against Russell Gage for Atlanta. So, and I know Russell Gage wasn't drafted immediately this draft, but he is their wide receiver number 2 behind Julio Jones. So that means our corner number 2 would be guarding their wide receiver number 2. I think Russell Gage has a lot of room to grow. However, he's gotten already some NFL experience. He's already done well with it. I think Paulson Adebo has a very high ceiling. I think this is a guy that's going to win our corner number 2 battle, and I think he's going to do it well. And I think Russell Gage would be almost the perfect matchup for him to go against. Russell Gage isn't your big body receiver. He's not your Julio Jones. He's not your Michael Thomas, who's going to catch those 50-50 balls. So Paulson Adebo doesn't have to worry about that as much. However, he's more of a speed receiver, and so Paulson Adebo does have to worry about guarding him, the length of the route, even if that route is 50 yards deep type of thing. So does he have the speed to match up well against Russell Gage? And yes, he does. Paulson Adebo is very fast. He's very good in coverage, especially against faster receivers. And he closes very well on the ball, meaning that even if he is beat by a few yards, he manages to recover well and is able to find the ball in the air, knock it out, disrupt the pass, do whatever he needs to do to win that matchup there. So I definitely give that one Paulson Adebo, and who has not even managed to make an impact yet for the New Orleans Saints. So moving on. So I think it's kind of one-on-one, one to Atlanta, one to New Orleans. So that's going to be a great matchup every year, or 2 matchups every year, as it always is. That's our bitter rival in the NFC South. So I want to move on to the Carolina Panthers. They had a phenomenal draft. They drafted all the players that I was saying New Orleans needed to draft. So I found that interesting, but they addressed a lot of positions of need, and rightfully so, because the Carolina Panthers were last in the division last year, and they had a tough time with Teddy Bridgewater, Christian McCaffrey being injured most of the year. They just had a lot of player personnel changes. So it's growing pains for Carolina Panthers for sure. But they had a phenomenal draft. So round 1, obviously they drafted J.C. Horn, the corner from South Carolina. That goes directly against our Michael Thomas. Who is going to win that battle? Was it Michael Thomas, the physical-bodied wide receiver number 1, or is it J.C. Horn, the play style that he comes with, and handsy at times, but also just a disruptor of the pass. So I think Michael Thomas has years of experience. He knows what he's doing. He's one of the NFL greats right now at wide receiver. He won wide receiver. He had multiple receptions, 149 receptions, obviously. I think Michael Thomas wins this. Although, give J.C. Horn a few years, and this is going to be a matchup to see 2-3 years from now. J.C. Horn versus Michael Thomas twice a year. So Michael Thomas wins this coming out the gate, but I think J.C. Horn is going to improve and improve quickly to do it. But so I give that matchup to the New Orleans Saints in round 1 for sure. Paulson Adebo versus Terrence Marshall, because the Carolina Panthers drafted Terrence Marshall in the second round from LSU, wide receiver. So, man, that was exactly who New Orleans, I wanted New Orleans to draft. They drafted it one spot in front of us, too, which made it even harder. So Terrence Marshall is a great speed wide receiver. He also tracks the ball for those deep routes very well. It's a little bit like Russell Gage almost. That speed receiver that's able to really win those battles when needed, but at the same time does not have the physicality to be your wide receiver number one. He's not a Julio Jones. He's not Michael Thomas. He's not Calvin Johnson. And the list goes on. He's not Sammy Watkins. He's not, who's the Texans' old receiver. But anyway, so Paulson Adebo versus Terrence Marshall. I think Adebo wins that one. It's going to be a close one, although I think Adebo has better coverage skills in deeper routes than he does short to intermediate routes. I think he actually lacks the ability to cover that quick slant, where I think he's just going to need some experience in learning how to do all that. But Paulson Adebo wins that Terrence Marshall battle. So I'm giving 2 to New Orleans, 0 to Carolina, even though they had that fantastic draft for now. And I want to continue on. Pete Warner versus Chuba Hubbard, the running back from Oklahoma State. He is a phenomenal running back, do-it-all running back. He is somebody that I think goes really well with Christian McCaffrey, who McCaffrey brings that speed element. He's probably the fastest in the entire NFL at the running back position. Chuba Hubbard is somebody that is a big body, bulky, almost reminds me of a fullback, but still has the speed to outrun linebackers and safeties if needed. He's a great running back. That was somebody I was considering the Saints drafting as well, close to the 4th round. But that goes against our linebacker, Pete Warner. Chuba Hubbard versus Pete Warner. Who wins that matchup? I think it's more of a wash. However, the nod, I think, goes to Pete Warner because that is his skill set. He guards the run very well. He has a great burst off of the assignment given. So when he sees the ball, he is powerful. He goes and gets it. He's quick. He's also got decent coverage skills, but that's not his skill set. His skill set is stopping the run. So I really think that's where Pete Warner strength is for the New Orleans Saints defense. So I think Pete Warner will win that matchup. So even though Carolina had a great draft, I still give probably their 3 most impactful players the nod to the New Orleans Saints. So you let me know who do you think wins those matchups in these fictitious one-on-one player battles that we're doing. Trying something new here. So let me know what you think. And we're going to see what we have for next week with Saint Stuff podcasts and videos. So thank you very much, and who dat?